Hey guys, how's it going? It's Harmonic back at it yet again. And yes, you'll notice that I'm uploading a video like this that is not a reaction video on the reaction channel. That's because I split them off for a bit and it was going fine. And then I kind of realized, what's the point of having two separate channels when I can just have one channel? And you know what? It's just going to be what it is, because managing two channels is complicated. And I'm also trying to manage a fitness channel, which is also complicated. And it's a lot going on in my brain holes. So you know what? Going back to one, but that's not really the whole point of this entire video. What I wanted to talk about today is a little something that is near and dear to my heart. What is it actually like being a church audio engineer? Now, for some of you who are like, oh, it's really easy, you just push the fader up and down and it's just all you gotta do, right? I kindly invite you to take a seat, maybe grab yourself a drink, maybe grab yourself a snack, because we're gonna be here for a second. I'm gonna straighten some things out with you, if that's all right, of course. So, what is it actually like? So on any given Sunday, I will arrive to church between 6:30 and 7. I am there always before the band arrives. Never fails, I am the first one in the building, except for maybe the creative director who will beat me there. But for the most part, I am the first one in the building. Now, that is by design, because that way I can get the lights on, I can get the fill speakers on, I can turn the rack on, I can turn the mains on, like all that sort of stuff. Oh, can't forget the subs, gotta turn those on too. I'm the one that kind of turns on everything in the room. And also too, I will boot up the broadcast computer if it has shut down since the last week, because sometimes that just happens. We don't know why, it just does its own thing. So yeah, that's what I normally do between like 6:30 to 7:30, just kind of get everything turned on, which it doesn't really take all that long. It takes like maybe all of 10 minutes, but sometimes you got to troubleshoot a little thing, or you got to reboot a show, and then it's just, you know, sometimes it is, as I like to say, solving a jig puzzle that's on fire sometimes is what it feels like to run sound. So yeah, turn everything on first thing in the morning, and at that point, by the time that I'm done doing all of that, the band members are starting to get there. They're starting to plug in. They're starting to, you know, tune their instruments, practice a little bit, get nice and warmed up. So at that point, I'll do a cursory glance at all of the EQs, make sure that nothing is sounding, you know, kind of bad, kind of, you know, just make sure everything is sounding good, that, you know, the guitars aren't too dirty or too clean, depending on the songs that we're going to be doing. Also, at this point, I usually look at the song list, because sometimes I forget to do that beforehand. So yeah, kind of take a cursory glance at everything, make sure everything is looking above boards. That is kind of the first half hour of my day, is getting all of that sort of set up. Then at that point, we usually have everybody there and everybody's tuning up, and we are getting everything set up and ready to rock and roll to start rehearsal. And rehearsal is what it sounds like. For those of you who've never been to like a music rehearsal, it's basically just you play something, you make adjustments, you play the next song, you make adjustments, you play the next song, you make adjustments. That's kind of what it is. You tighten everything up and as you go, essentially. So one thing that I don't actually have to worry about at the church that I'm currently attending, thankfully, because at my last church I had to do this, and oh man, it was a nightmare sometimes. I don't have to adjust the in-ear mix for the musicians and the singers on stage. I used to have to manage running front of house and the in-ears mix, and that was like solving a jigsaw puzzle that was on fire. Because, you know, I'm managing not only what the mix sounds like out here, but then I know that if I make any changes to the EQ, or I gain something up or down, that's going to change their in-ears, and then I have to go in and adjust that to make sure that it's offset correctly, so it's not really super noticeable for them. It was a whole thing. But at the church that I am at now, they have ME controllers, which basically just everybody can control their own mix, and it is wonderful. And yeah, so we run rehearsal, and then we have a top to bottom run through, like, all right, we're gonna, you know, fire 5-minute countdown, 7 seconds left, we're gonna fire the first track, and then that's when we're gonna, you know, roll into the first song, crash out on the whatever. Usually it's like normally it's crash out on the 1, and then roll it, keep it either big or small, rolling into song 2, and then song 2, all right, is when we have the announcement video run. I'll say, you know, not Al, this is the worship leader talking, and he'll say, you know, slap your neighbor, high five, welcome to church, and then everybody sits down, and then the announcement video rolls, which we have to test the audio for that too, to make sure that all the audio levels are stable and they're not like one's really loud, one's really quiet, and different clips. It just kind of, you gotta test everything now, and it's also a really good idea to know generally where I need to have that volume set so I don't accidentally blow the speaker or nobody can hear it when it first comes on. And then after that, we will have another run through where we do all of the songs in order without stopping, like it is in the service, and then we will test briefly the audio of the video, and then third song, bumper video, and then we'll test the pastor's mic. And then at that point, then we'll run through all 4 songs. Then we test the video's audio. At the end, we have 2 different videos, the announcement video and then the series bumper video. And then we test the pastor's microphone and the other handheld that we have for like any other speaker that's going to be up on the platform. So that's what rehearsal looks like, and that happens from like 7:45 until 8:45. So we do all of that in an hour. It's honestly kind of I don't know if you heard that thunder, but I did. Honestly, it's kind of incredible how quickly that they're able to do things. And it honestly speaks to the musician's level of professionalism. I just kind of sit back and push buttons. And also too, during rehearsal, it's really nice to have 2 full run-throughs to address this, because then I can like in-depth EQ something if something doesn't sound right. And also I can walk the entire room. I can get a full audio image in my brain of what everything sounds like where. I can make adjustments to make sure that it's overall a more even audio listening experience. And this is all if I'm running front of house. If I'm running broadcast, then I am just focusing on making sure that everything is correct. I'm making sure that everything, all the volumes are great. I'm not exceeding the compression level that I have, you know, to send to YouTube or to Meta for live streaming on Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just kind of keeping everything in your brain all at once and making sure that all the details are getting nailed, because otherwise it just is, it's a whole mess. So that's like the first hour and 45 minutes of my day. And after that, you know, it's just service as usual, top to bottom each time, and usually that goes without problem. 2 times now since I've been at this church for the last like year and a half, basically, we've had times where just the power just goes out. Middle of service, power just cuts out and security lights come on, and we're like, well, that's new. Also, I hope nothing crashed, because we just lost power to a bunch of Macs and bunch of Macs and a soundboard, and sometimes Macs don't like that. I mean, PCs don't like that in general, but like Macs. But yeah, so for the most part, like once you get through, like rehearsal is usually the roughest part of the day, and that's actually how we can gauge how good the rest of the day is going to be, because if rehearsal sucks, services are usually like the best thing ever. And if rehearsal goes great, it's like, are we just waiting for something to happen? But then no, like services also just end up being great. So it's like, well, you know, kind of is what it is. So yeah, like I said, sometimes running, because like the weirdest things will pop up. Like we just recently had a Wednesday night like end of summer bash, and for some reason the wireless packs that the singers were using were being really wonky and needed more volume than the other packs that were being used for the band, and then that was causing some issues. And then there was just some weird things where the power would get cut to 1 or 2 of the singers packs with a loud pop, but then like eventually it would like click back on and it'd be fine. We still don't know what caused that. Yeah, so it's just sometimes it just feels like everything is going wrong all at once, and you're like, I'm so long for the ride, but God, it's a good thing this is all for you, because otherwise I don't know why I'd do this. Also, the other fun part about being an audio engineer at church is that if something goes wrong, doesn't matter if it's audio related or not, if anything production related goes wrong, you just get the, like, if a slide is off, if the lights go weird, if there's like feedback, or if there's a pop in the microphone, just as soon as it happens, you can just feel everybody in the room just turns around and looks directly into your soul. And you're like, I hide in the back for a reason. I don't want to be, stop it. Don't look at me. It was weird and I don't like it. Look at the pastor. He's the one on the platform. Look at him. He's saying something pretty good. Look over there. Don't look back here. I'm fixing it. I'm aware of the problem. I'm trying to fix it. But yeah, so that is a very comical 30,000 foot breakdown of what it's like to be an audio engineer on a Sunday morning. And you know what? I really wouldn't trade it for like anything in the world. I make all these jokes and I say that it's just like putting together a puzzle that's on fire. But you know what? It's fun. It's just the right amount of like analytical and creative, but also like chaotic, that, you know what? It's just a really fun place for me to be. And I mean, the name Harmonic Chaos, you would think that I like things that are oxymoronic and then also harmonious and also chaotic. And you know what? Running sound pretty much fits those bills. So yeah. But with all that being said, I hope you absolutely did all enjoy, and I hope you learned something, or at least you laughed a little bit. I don't know. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. Why? But thank you. And yeah, you know what? That's going to be about it. I'll catch y'all next time. God bless.